How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. European Parliament calls for tighter oversight of global cryptocurrency market. The potential for regulatory arbitrage and the decentralized nature of certain crypto assets underscore the need for some level of harmonization in regulations across major jurisdictions, argues a new report published by the European Parliamentary Research Service. The report's recommendations include enhanced oversight from non-European Union regulators to ensure greater stability and development in the global cryptocurrency market. The report also highlights concerns about various channels through which the EU's financial system and autonomy may still be at risk. Particularly, it remains reliant on policy actions taken by non-EU countries within the scope of the MiCA policies that they pass. So the US and other countries that aren't really doing much regulation fall short of any kind of MiCA guidelines, so companies from those countries will likely not meet the deadline for December 2024. The regulation in non-EU countries raises questions about financial stability, since the global financial institutions may be unable to cope with large price variations, volatility, and the losses incurred by shocks in the crypto asset markets, the report stated. Bitcoin critic Senator Mendez charged with corruption and bribery. He allegedly accepted swaths of gold, cash, and mortgage payments as part of a corrupt relationship with three businessmen in his home estate. The charges follow years of criticism from the politician targeting cryptocurrencies, which he has accused of enabling a range of criminal activities while empowering foreign actors to evade U.S. sanctions. Federal prosecutors allege Mendes helped enrich three businessmen while also benefiting the government of Egypt by providing sensitive U.S. government information, among other charges. So not only was he taking cash and gold and saying Bitcoin was for criminals, he was selling the U.S. out. Police seized Bitcoin mining machines in Venezuelan prison bust. Among rocket launchers, grenades, and bullets, Venezuelan authorities also seized Bitcoin mining machines. In an operation to crack the South American country's most powerful organized crime group on Wednesday, they found these equipment and other weapons in a prison. So there's not really much more information. It just goes on about the fact that they found it in a prison in Venezuela, and that it's not the first time they found Bitcoin mining machines in a prison. Binance and CEO Seizure Zhao seek dismissal of SEC lawsuit citing regulatory overreach. So they're both filing jointly to dismiss the lawsuit that was brought against them by the SEC. In the 60-page petition, they criticized the SEC for failing to provide clear guidelines for the cryptocurrency sector before initiating the lawsuit against the crypto exchange, and basically saying they're trying to impose a regulatory authority over the crypto industry that they don't have and they weren't after when it initially began. The SEC distorts the text of the security laws by reading out the word contract out of the statutory phrase investment contract when they are applying the Howey test. Reads the following: the SEC also seeks to enlarge its jurisdiction globally, so they're trying to expand beyond the US and expand their reach to foreign entities. FTX files a $157 million lawsuit against ex-employee of Hong Kong affiliate. Bankrupt crypto exchange FTX has filed a lawsuit against four employees of Salamita, a Hong Kong-based affiliate believed to have been under the direct control of SBF. Along with two related companies, the named individuals were alleged to have exploited their personal ties to prioritize their asset withdrawals from FTX when the exchange was going under, and when it is questionable if they would be able to continue or not. Those withdrawals took place during the crucial 90-day period before FTX's bankruptcy filing on November 11th, known as the preference period. According to the US laws, any customers who withdrew their crypto assets within 90 days before FTX filed for bankruptcy could then be sued by the company's creditors to get the money back. This is called a clawback under the bankruptcy code. The total value of these suspected illicit transfers is about $157.3 million. so they'll likely sue for that, plus the lawsuit costs if they win. So onto the charts. So you might notice we are on the Dixie today. That was a request from our Discord. If you want to get in on that and make requests and help drive the way our channel is made and what we do, hit that link up above or join us through the link down below in the description. Also hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Our stochastics overall pushing down here. We are getting a bit of a bullish cross here that wants to push us forward, but we are meeting some resistance. If you're not familiar, we've hit this zone right back here, a couple times back here, a few times back here, and right here. So it is a pretty strong point of support or resistance. If we are not able to get through this zone, we are likely going to roll over. I believe Dixie and crypto tend to be a little bit coupled. People were trying to speculate that they would decouple at some point. I'm not too sure if they have at this point or not. Let me know. But our VWAP is starting to roll away. Money flows overall coming out. So we do have potential to lose some steam here. The stochastics making bearish divergences is pushing down lower, even though price is going up. And our momentum is doing the same. Over on the total, we are starting to reject away. We are trying to push up with a green candle. If we get a green candle, a strong green candle tomorrow, that's about the size of this red candle, that would be a bottoming pattern. Again, if you're not familiar with that, get in the Discord and you can download the resources. Our stochastic is still continuing down though. RSI is making a slight bounce up. Momentum is rolling away with a red dot as our VWAP has broken into the bearish territory. Our money flows overall in a bearish trend still, as we're not getting quite higher highs yet, and we haven't made any new lows yet. We're just kind of going sideways right now, so we could start to curl over soon. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are pushing down from our resistance area. Our RSI is starting to curl away. Momentum's starting to round out with a red dot as our VWAP is falling into the bearish territory. Our stochastic has a bearish cross and is about to start falling as well. The money flow is flirting with that neutral, so if it breaks here, our Bitcoin dominance could start to slide, and then we could see more of that stablecoin or dollar push like I was mentioning. Over on Bitcoin futures, we are continuing to spill over. We do have an inverted hammer candle though here. If you're not familiar with that, again, we have that resource. Our stochastic is spilling over, RSI is coming down, momentum's curling away. The momentum has that red dots because our VWAP's in the bearish territory, so overall we could continue to push down. Our money flow is pushing out overall. So we do have a bit of bearish momentum, and we are starting to reject the possibility of our double bottom. So we could reject the possibility of pushing higher and filling that higher gap sooner, which would be our optimal path, because then we can fill that 20k gap now, and we won't have to worry about it later. Over on Bitcoin, we are flirting with the top of our pattern. We did slightly break into it. We're not really moving too much. We did try to break it, but we ultimately got rejected by our value area low on our volume profile. So if we aren't able to get some green candles to push us up through that value area low and our current resistance, we are likely going to continue down from here. We could push, like I said, on our futures, we could push down to about 20k. If we look at our volume profiles, we do have that value area low on the bigger volume profile right around that 25k level. If we break that, then that's likely where we'll see that 20k fill. That 25k is acting as a major support, as it's a major psychological even number. So those even numbers tend to be a psychological support resistance. They're not necessarily something you're going to see on the chart. Our stochastic is pushing down, RSI is pretty flat, momentum is pushing out here, our VWAP is in the bearish territory, our money flow is trying to push higher, but we're not getting higher highs yet, so we could still have a bearish trend forming. So I would watch out, especially since we have fallen back into this pattern, and we rejected breaking out of it and breaking our value area high, which is our value area low, which is above us on our micro pattern. So we're rejecting the micro pattern and could fall to the support of the bigger macro pattern. Over on the 4 hour, we are starting to curl away here, so we are starting to meet resistance and push down. RSI is pretty flat. Overall, we are losing strength though. Our stochastics overall pushing out. Our money flow is trying to make a bounce off the neutral, and our VWAP is trying to hit that through the neutral, but it's kind of hanging up right under it. So we could see a rejection of the VWAP if we're not careful. We'll have to watch the lower time frames. If they remain bearish, then we'll likely get a rejection. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic is pushing lower. Our money flow is flirting with that neutral. It could break to the bearish side. It has been above in the bullish territory for quite some time, but we're starting to slide as we're not getting any real strength or momentum off of here. Our VWAP is falling to the bearish side, and ultimately it is in a bearish trend. So if our VWAP rolls away here, we're likely going to see another leg down and push down from here. Our momentum does want to push up, but that's because the VWAP is trying to push through that neutral. So again, it's going to be a pivotal spot for us. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is running up. Our RSI is starting to curl out though, so I would watch out. If our stochastic doesn't break through this 30, it's not going to have bullish strength. If it rolls away here, we're going to set up more bearish action. The VWAP is in the bullish territory. We are getting lower highs though, so we could set up a bearish trend still. If we get another lower dip and make a new low, then we would likely have a bearish trend and see a lower price action down. Our momentum is in the bearish territory. It does want to push up as our VWAP's in the bullish territory, but like I said, that VWAP's looking a little dicey right now. Our money flow is overall in bearish trend and pushing out in the bearish territory, so we don't have very much strength on the lower time frame here. Over on graph for the daily, we are pushing onto our support of our falling pattern that we had. So if we manage to break down into our down channel, we could see another push to our lower support for that channel. Our stochastic has a bearish cross and is falling. Our RSI is rolling away. Our momentum is starting to roll away with a red dot, and our VWAP has fallen into the bearish territory. The money flow is trying to break through that neutral and gain bullish momentum, but it's struggling, so if we round away here, we could start a bearish trend. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a potential bear flag forming as we dropped and we're going sideways. Our RSI is overall pushing out. Our stochastic is beat down and is oversold as it can be. Our money flow is struggling to get above the 7 zone, so if it doesn't gain some strength above this zone, we're likely going to push lower and start a bearish trend. The VWAP is trying to break through the neutral and gain some bullish strength, but it's struggling to get through, so if we round away, we could start another leg down and break this support. Our momentum is pushing down. It's trying to roll up a little bit, but with that VWAP struggling, it's not really curling up very strong right now. If these lower time frames aren't very strong, then that curl likely won't happen. We do have a gap up that could happen right around this 9 cent, so almost 9 cent zone. So we could jump up, fill that gap, and then get rejected. That would still be within a bear flag. Our stochastic is trying to push forward with a bullish cross. Our RSI is overall losing strength. Our money flows overall pushing down. We are struggling to break above this 12.5. So if we don't gain some support above this zone, we're likely going to curl away to the bearish side. Our VWAP overall is in the bullish territory, but it's not very strong. So if we could just flop over here, we would set up a bearish trend that could break us down. Over on the 1 hour, we have 2 manipulation X's that want to bring us lower, so I would watch out for those. Our stochastic is trying to push higher, but our RSI is falling. Our money flow is pushing away from that neutral and gaining bearish momentum, so if we set a lower low here, that could start that bearish trend. Our VWAP is falling as well and could break to the bearish side, bringing our momentum down, and it could invalidate this bullish divergence we had. So overall, I would pay attention to the next few candles. If we continue to push down, it's likely we could break down soon. Over on Anchor for the daily, we do have a push up here. So we are getting a pretty decent price action comparative to everything else. We have a reversal arrow that wants to kind of push us away though, so I would watch out. We were in a little bit of an uptrend, so that could end up spilling us over to a downtrend. Our stochastic is starting to round over. Our RSI wants to push up. The momentum is starting to curl away, and the VWAP is starting to lose some strength here. So I would watch. If the VWAP breaks to the bearish side, we could see lower price action. The money flow is struggling to break through to the bullish side, so if it doesn't break through and hold, and that VWAP crosses to the bearish side, that could set a pretty strong leg to the downside. Over on the 4 hour, we overall have a potential like triple top that could form, which isn't a very common pattern, and we could end up pushing away from it. Our stochastics overall getting lower highs and could set up a bearish divergence. Our RSI is doing about the same. Our money flow is ramping up, so that is going good for us, and the momentum is following, but the VWAP's kind of struggling. So if the VWAP doesn't manage to break above this 8 zone and get some strength, we likely could meet some resistance here and curl away, as we've rejected here several times and seen some significant dips. Over on the 2 hour, we are in a bit of an up channel. It is pretty straight, so that could be a textbook pattern to drop us down. We do have a gap down to fill at about 1895. I believe we have filled that higher gap that I was talking about the other day. So it's likely all downhill from here, so I wouldn't get too hopeful. RSI is trying to push up, our stochastics pushing up, but they are pretty maxed out and could start to curl away, so I would watch them closely. The momentum's overall getting lower highs and could round away as our VWAP is starting to get weaker and push lower. Our money flow also is in danger of flopping over, so if the VWAP and money flow break bearish together here, we likely could start another leg down that could drop us pretty low, as we have those lower gaps we've been mentioning all week. Over on the 1 hour, that's a pretty decent and textbook up channel, so I would watch out. Stochastics pushing up, we have bearish divergences that want to push us down. Our RSI is trying to push up, our momentum is trying to come up, our VWAP's overall getting lower highs, and our money flow is in danger of pushing lower as we've dipped to the bearish side twice and we haven't gained much strong bullish strength since then for the money flow. So if we don't get some decent buy action, we're likely going to fall to the bearish side. Over on XRP for the daily, we are getting a bit of a reversal arrow here too, so that could signal we may start to round away, so I would watch out. Our stochastic is starting to push down. I don't really bet much on these reversal arrows, by the way. They're just a signal that's sometimes there. I just cover them because they're part of the market cipher indicator. The main things I use on the market cipher are like the red X's. So our stochastics overall pushing lower. Our RSI is overall trying to get higher highs, but we are getting lower highs and could start a downtrend, especially with the stochastic weakening. The momentum's in jeopardy of rounding over here, and our VWAP is pushing to the bearish side. The money flow is in a little bit of a bullish trend with higher lows, but it's struggling to get higher highs, so if it doesn't get higher highs and starts to round over here, we're likely going to start a bearish trend. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a little bit of a push off our support, so that is good for us, but we are starting to come back down already as we're meeting resistance from this channel here. Our RSI is starting to point down, our momentum's overall getting lower highs and is rounding away. Our VWAP is struggling to get some strength above this 9 zone, so if it doesn't break above this 9 with some strength, we're likely going to meet resistance and reject like we have a couple times before. That money flow is somewhat rounding away, so if it continues down this path with the VWAP, they're likely going to set us up for a pretty strong move down. So I would watch out for that, but that strong move down would be what we need, to be honest. On the 2 hour, we're on a bit of a textbook up channel. We have 3 tops, 3 bottoms, so we could end up breaking down soon. Stochastic is getting a bearish divergence and wants to push down. RSI is starting to push away. The momentum is starting to get a red dot and round away as our VWAP's kind of flirting with that neutral. If the VWAP crosses over and pushes with strength, it could start to pull the money flow down with it, and we could see a push down from here. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic's trying to round up and push higher. This channel, by the way, wouldn't break us too far down. It just tests this 50-cent support area. Our money flow is starting to round away. The VWAP is in the bearish territory, so if the VWAP continues down and the money flow doesn't gain some strength, we're likely going to start to fall away here. Finally, for tonight, for algo, we are pushing above our value area low and above our pattern, so that is good. If we get a confirmation of this tomorrow, we could see about testing our point of control. Our momentum is pushing up pretty strong. Stochastics as high as it can go. RSI is running up. Our money flow is ramping up. Our VWAP's coming down. So the medium trend, even though we're pushing higher, is still coming down. So I would watch out for that. Over on the 4 hour, we could have a bit of a double top here that could push us lower and away from this flag. Our momentum is pushing up. Stochastics pushing up. RSI is pushing up. Our VWAP's getting lower highs overall and is in jeopardy of forming a bearish trend if we start to roll over. Our money flow is ramping up pretty decently, so we do have bullish strength, but we haven't been this high on the money flow for some time, so it could be a spot of resistance and we could end up dropping away from it. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic's trying to push higher. It really doesn't have anywhere it can go. RSI is pretty maxed out as well, but it has a red dot, so that is signaling the RSI wants to come down. The momentum is pushing higher even though the VWAP's starting to curl away, so if the VWAP breaks lower, that momentum's likely going to start to curl out. The money flow wants to get a little bit of a push down after pushing off this neutral and meeting some resistance at about 16, so if we can't break above and hold the zone, we likely won't hold this pattern where we broke. Over on the 1 hour, we're starting to push away. We could end up seeing a tweezer tops push us down and break support, so watch out for that. Stochastic is starting to reject away. The RSI is starting to fall away. The momentum wants to get a red dot to push us lower, so if the VWAP breaks through, we could end up seeing lower price action. The money flow is in a bit of an uptrend, but we are starting to curl away, so if we break this zone around this 8, we could see a bit of a volatile move down, much like everything else, especially since we got a really big move up and everything else stayed flat. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.